Herbie the Love Bug is with us again on CBS. My goodness, look at the stars. Would you believe? Right here in Nebraska, Dean Jones. Well, that's Dean, the guy. The woman is Patricia Harty. Now, you probably don't know her as well as you know Dean, because Dean's been around. He's been around.
It's okay.
You remember back 1962? My God, that's 20 years ago. Ensign
That's
O'Toole.
right, 62 and 3.
Account for your durability, sir.
Oh, well, it's a gift. It is a gift. I have done nothing to...
You don't deserve all this acclaim
Deserve
that
it.
you have received.
No, well, I don't deserve all this longevity either. I mean,
Do
You're deserving.
I can tell you about those motorcycles and those Ferraris and breaking the pelvis in 13 places. When you talk about longevity, I mean, I think of all the accidents and all the times that I could have really cashed in my chips, you know.
You mean in real life or in making
In real life.
films?
In real life.
You crashed in a cycle?
Oh, yeah, a lot of times.
Why?
Well, because you may say that I had a death wish, and you may be partially correct, or you may say that it was fun, and that's partially correct.
You
I
drove
enjoy
fast.
motorcycles.
You like
yeah.
driving fast.
I like to race motorcycles and drive fast cars. And it made me feel, unfortunately, I mean, this is a terrible confession, but it made me feel alive, and I didn't feel alive when I wasn't doing something dangerous. That was a period of time in my life.
And
Thank
now
God
you've-
that's over.
Now you've settled for a Volkswagen.
That'll only do 140 miles an hour. There's a 911 Porsche S engine in it.
Does it really?
No, it doesn't, but it has, the original one had a 911 Porsche in it. The ones we have used since are usually built up other engines, like a VW or some Porsches, but not a 911.
I bet the Volkswagen company loves you, just loves you. Do they shower you with gifties, or do they give you those cars?
They don't give us anything. And I
You
drive
give
a
them all that
Peugeot.
free publicity and promotion for their little car?
Well, we haven't given them anything yet.
March
just
17th, we'll
exposure.
start to give it to
March 17th, we'll have the
Oh,
car
but you
on
know,
the air.
you've made 4 Herbie movies now,
That's
and all
true.
about exposure. I would think they'd be...
It's true that there's a lot of the kids now are starting to paint their, not a lot, but Dean has seen one, I've seen one. They're painting them like the Herbies with the stripe. And
What does the 53 stand for? Is there any reason for that?
A 53, no.
You mean, you just arbitrarily say, well, let's pick this
Absolutely
car
no
53.
significance whatsoever.
however,
Not
if
that I
you-
know of. I'm
I know
serious.
what it is, your combined ages.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I didn't know you were
Just
older
say
than I
thank
was.
you.
I just
say
figured.
thank you, Dean. Say thank you.
Now let me ask you, the Herbie the car does all sorts of crazy things, you know, the engine, it raises up and the hood goes up and it squirts oil at bad
It
people.
cries.
Yes, and it goes...
And it gets scared.
And last night it dug out from under a police impound yard, under
Yeah.
a chain link fence.
Oh, and there's
That
one
was cute.
episode when Herbie almost gets squashed in one of those car squashers.
Oh, no, but
And
I
it's
bet you...
crying, the windshield
And it's
wipers are going, it's
crying.
wiping its tears, and it's shaking. And there's no doubt why it's shaking. I mean, this
Yeah.
big crusher is coming down on it.
Is this the same car? Is the same car been used in all of these?
No, they're not the same cars. We had 8 Herbies in the original
8
Love Bug.
Herbies?
And they were rigged to do different things. You know, one would split up and drive. In fact, Buddy Hackett pulled around me in the original, and the rear end of the car went over the finish line of the big race ahead of the front part. But that was a special car built to do that.
There's the crying Herbie and the trembling Herbie and the blind drive Herbie. You know, bring on the crier.
Well, my concern, I guess, is when the car has to do all of these crazy things, does that mean you have to stand around and wait a lot of additional time to get these things done? Is there somebody
takes time.
inside the car doing these things?
Well, we don't tell you that. No, we'll tell
Strike
you
that, strike that from
Yes,
the record.
there is something.
It is a
There is
magical
a man
car
inside
that-
the car that drives it. Sure, we'll tell you that.
Well, I know there's,
But it
but
takes time.
sometimes it looks like there's nobody in the car, and the car is doing some strange thing, and there's nobody in the car. But the car is doing that.
The car's,
The car's
that.
doing
The
it.
car is doing that. It speaks your language.
The car has its own life, and it does its own thing, and it gets into its own trouble, and
Once.
Dean has to cope with it.
In a great, long period of time, a car comes off an assembly line that's just a little bit different than all the rest, Leta.
And that's Herbie.
And that's Herbie. And you drive a Porsche?
No, I
in
drive
real
a
life,
Peugeot.
a Peugeot. And what do you drive?
A Honda Accord.
Do you really?
His name is Reggie.
His name is Reggie?
His name is
Why?
Reggie. I
Why?
had a Volkswagen. His name was Tibby.
What happened to the Volkswagen?
I sold it. I'm so sorry I did, but I needed an air conditioner and I needed more power in my car. But I was one of the worst days of my life. I just cried my eyes out. I still know who has him, and they've promised to call me if they ever sell him.
Okay. Let me ask you one last thing. You went to New York at age 16.
Yeah.
A young girl gets out of high school, goes to the big city.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little dangerous?
Well, no, because I stayed at the Barbizon for Women. I was, you know, I knew I knew that I had to be very careful, and I didn't go out for a long time. I just, you know, I went to the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. That was the first adventure out of the hotel, and then I met a girl there, and then we got an apartment. But I was very careful. I was scared, which was, you know, intelligent.
Well, I'm glad you survived.
Thank you. I am
Because if
too.
you hadn't, you wouldn't be here and you wouldn't be starring in
Right,
Herbie.
and I'm having a wonderful time.
Good luck, good luck. Good
Thank
to see
you.
you
Thanks, Steve.
again.
It's good to be here.
It's good to be here.
God bless you.
Right here in Nebraska. Watch it right here on 1011 Strong, of course. Herbie the Love Bug.
That's right.
We'll be watching it. Thank you very much. And 1011 Morning continues.